This episode is brought to you by Thor's Ice Cream, the best ice cream menu in Billingham. Find them at the rink on game days and pick from their range of amazing desserts including the Biscoff brownie and the famous whippy trays, with a choice of amazing toppings. Supporters of the Stars and Buccaneers and proud partners of Starcast. Find Thor's Ice Cream on social media.
This is Starcast, the official podcast of the Billingham Stars. Watch and listen for the latest news from the Big Red Machine.
Hi, welcome to the latest edition of your official Billingham Stars podcast. This is Starcast at your Billingham Town Council, Billingham Stars. It's coming up to the most wonderful time of the year, but we have a wonderful weekend, wonderful Saturday at least, weekend of hockey to talk about from last weekend, and I want to look ahead with a local derby feel for in between Christmas and New Year. Pleased to be joined, as always, our festive podcasters this weekend. Carol, or Christmas Carol, is here. The only one who's made an effort. Jono and I are completely scrooging out. Jono is back from his East Coast tour of Hartlepool, Redcar, Mask, and Seaton Carew, but he's back with us here in Billingham. Jono, welcome back. How's things? All right?
Yeah, all good. The 20-degree difference is not played too much of a havoc, but hey ho.
Keeping up to speed on what you've been missing, so you can take a full and active.
Yeah. I've tried to follow this week amongst many other things going on, but like late on sun lounges and stuff. But yeah, I've been following. I've kept my eye on Twitter and obviously the fan groups, seeing what's been going on. So yeah, kind of up to date on what's going on.
All good. So plenty to talk about. So we've got two games from last weekend, home win and a road defeat. So Christmas Cup in between Christmas and New Year. Look around the league, and there's a couple of bits of AOB as well. We'll start with the fixtures just gone, and the first one of a slew of Saturday home games for your Stars of late. And it was Deeside who made the trip north on Saturday. A quick return visit for them. They were hosting Billingham a couple of weeks ago in a high-scoring encounter, but Billingham able to turn the tables. Quite a good game to watch as well. It was 5-3 for your Stars in the end. Goals from Chris Sykes with 2, Michael Elder with 2, and Lucas Dowdle, who got things off and running. For the Dragons, Jake Wachowski had 2, and Noah Percival had their other one. Jacob Hammond, fantastic in net, 57 shots and 3 goals against. Tyler de la Bertouche, 44 shots and 4 goals against, plus an empty net. They are the stats. Doesn't all tell a story, Carol. We'll obviously take the heavy lifting on this one because Jono was in Hartlepool Marina. But yeah, fantastic game to watch. Fantastic effort from the Stars, from pretty much 1 to 20 for the full 60 minutes.
Absolutely, that's one of the best performances I've seen from the lads all season, to be fair. You could tell from first drop of the puck, really, everybody was bang up for this one. It was intense. It was hungry. It was everything you wanted to see from the Stars. Should give a shout out to Paddy. The return of Patrick Grigors, having not trained with the team at all. He trained with Edinburgh Capitals prior to this encounter, so thank you to them. Paddy comes in as a guest whilst Roland Scrittans recuperates from his injury, and And how wonderful was it to see Paddy back in a Stars jersey, and despite not training with the team and actually not being on the ice at all for a considerable amount of time, he looked like he'd never been away. It was absolutely wonderful to see. And despite lots of pre-game predictions about Paddy picking up the first penalty, he didn't get a penalty all weekend. I just thought I'd drop that in right now. It was. I know exactly. It was just a really, really good performance, team performance, as you've already alluded to. Everybody in the shirt put in a shift. It was absolutely delightful to see. Chris Sykes picked up man of the match, but honestly, could have given it to a number of players. Jacob Hammond was immense. He made some absolutely ridiculous saves in that game. When you've got the likes of Jake Kowski coming at you, you've got to be on your game. And I can't find a fault with that game at all. Great entertainment for the crowd. What else do you want before Christmas? It was a really good early Christmas present and a fantastic game to watch. Nothing to complain about for that game.
No, it was a good Saturday crowd as well. Obviously, we've got a few Saturday games last week and a couple into the new year as well. Saturday crowd's always a bit unpredictable, shall we say? But obviously, with it being the week before Christmas, the football fixtures were favourable, and entertaining encounter and prospects. So I think we've got a good turnout. Some Deeside fans travel up as well. With some travelling fans, which is good to see from them. Big flags as well. So that could be a thing. So all round, I say it started off well. Lucas Dowdle, a 1-0 first period. A bit different to the 8 goals we had down in Deeside a couple of weeks ago. And then a quick double from Mikey at the start of period 2. 3-0. Everybody's happy. And then Deeside woke up. Jake started skating more than he'd ever skated at Billingham before. Got them back to 3-2. But even then, I say the defence, I forgot to say, well, thanks for mentioning Paddy, because I forgot to mention, basically, because he fitted in so seamlessly as he could come straight back. As Fozzie said in his post game on Sunday, obviously he knows the majority of the players, he knows the way they play, so it was fairly easy for him to step back in, but still there's that the fitness and the game kind of management side of things, but he fitted straight back in, which was fantastic to see. I said to him before Saturday's game, I said, you've got 6 games. I'd like you to play all 6 games. I'd like you to finish all 6 games. And he was back. So, but he's 2 for 2. We'll take that for now. But yeah, and then the third period on Saturday, a huge effort. 26 shots I think we had faced. Just give up the 1 goal. And that was on the 5-minute major near the end when we were 2 goals ahead. So a professional performance, took a lot out of the guys, which I think will reflect when we talk about to Sunday. But from everybody who played, we're still mixing the lines because we're still players down. We're still kind of mixing here and there. So last week's defensive returnee, obviously not available this weekend. So Joe Walls was not available. So we're still kind of putting the lineups together as best we can. Not a full strength by any means, but a fantastic result. And Deeside's first loss in 4. I think they were on a 3-game streak as they came into us. So, no, good one for the home crowd. And I agree with what you say, Carol. That the man of the match it went to Sykesy, who's been he's been Chris Sykes all season. He's been phenomenal all season. But yeah, Mikey with a couple of goals. The third line in particular, but yeah, Jacob and net. Even allowing for the fact that his captain tried to run him over, that didn't stop him either. So, it was brilliant. Did you get any comments, Jono, that you were seeing around for either from the Deeside side of things?
Saturday was a bit of a weird one for me because obviously I normally just be, as I've done in previous years, at my Christmas holiday, summer holiday that I go for. You get comfortable on the Sud Lounge and get ready to listen to the game. But obviously I've been a lot more involved this year. So for whatever reason, I was a nervous wreck. 2, 3, 4 hours before the game, I was messaging Al going, you need to get this ready, you need to get that ready, you need to sort this jersey out for Paddy, you need to sort socks out for Paddy, you need to get these. And I think he just messaged me, he's just saying, don't worry about it, enjoy your holiday, and we'll see when you get back. But yeah, it was an absolutely different feeling for me, a strange one. But yeah, good to see that we could bring in just a little bit of reinforcements with Rolly out with his current situation. And he was no better person to bring in than Paddy. He's someone who lights up the changing room. He gets on with everyone. He's a lad that makes a lot of laugh. And to be fair, he makes a lot of the other lads play 6 foot taller as well when he's about. So I think a lot of lads will grow a little bit of confidence over the next few weeks with having him around. But yeah, I think a few of the teams laughed when we brought him back in, thinking that would probably potentially make us weaker defensively, giving a lot of penalties away. But I think as Whitley Warriors found out last year, he's a lot better than many people give him credit for. And it was just great to see him slot straight back in. As for our forwards, I mean, you're never not going to back Sykesy and Mike Elder to get goals up top. So it was just a case of how we reacted to going in that lead and giving up a couple of goals, because over the last few weeks it probably hasn't really gone that well for us. When we've got 2 or 3 goal leads, we've kind of given them away. So we should be able to take a lot of confidence from that as we move forward. I know that the next night didn't really go to plan for us, but it's also positives that we can look back on and say, you know what, we can beat the top teams. That's a bad loss for Deeside and what they're trying to achieve this year, and they've got to come to places like ours and win. So it is a bad loss for them. Yeah. But I think it's stuff that we can take a lot of positives from.
Yeah. Well, they were obviously second place at the start of the weekend. Having gone on that winning streak that they were on, and we can put it temporarily. So they would sit down as 4th by the end of the weekend. Things happened. But yeah, it was a good performance. Like you said, we played Deeside last weekend of the season, home and away. We travelled down there on a Saturday and bring them back to the Forum on Sunday for all of our March home games on one day. Thanks for your list. Yeah, so it's always a good series with Deeside, so we'll look forward to that. We've got to wait till the end of March for that one. But no, it was fantastic. I think all round, on ice, off ice. A nice way to end the home campaign before Christmas. Anything else on Saturday, Carol, before we move on to Sunday?
No, I just wanted to pick up on something that both of you kind of mentioned there about the lines. It is frustrating. I think it's frustrating for the team. It's frustrating for the fans. We're not able to ice stable lines at the minute for a variety of reasons. And that was a big part of our success last year. But we mentioned this in the pod before the season even started, that given the shortness of our full lineup, if you like, we would need an awful lot of luck regarding injuries, suspensions, etc., to be competitive, and we haven't had that. And the biggest knock-on effect of that is to the lines. And I think people just need to, just be a little calmer and a little try and be a little less frustrated in when they see the lineup of the teams and how the team is playing and how the lines are working out, because a lot of this is not. It's basically forced upon us by the situation that we're in, and we have to make the best of it sometimes. And I do hear in the background, a lot of frustration, but sometimes it just can't be helped. And the guys are doing the best with what they're given, if that makes sense. And sometimes it works, which on Saturday it really did. And sometimes it doesn't possibly work out as well as you hoped it would, which Sunday is a good example of. So I get the frustration, but we are keeping with our ethos. We are rolling all of the players that we've got where we can. I did notice actually Deeside on Saturday. our friend Jake saw an awful lot of ice time. I mean, a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know the figures. We don't do that kind of stat in Billingham, but he was not off the ice a lot. We don't do that. Actually, Jake on Saturday reminded me an awful lot of what Nicholas Otterson used to do in Solihull before they got more depth.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I just wanted to highlight it because I know there's a lot of frustration with how we're playing those lines at the minute, and I think that some understanding needs to be there about why, and it's an awful lot down to the fact that we're not getting the luck that we got last year. We're not lucky with injuries. We're not lucky with decisions. We're not lucky with the suspensions. It all adds up, and at the end of the day, we just need to be a little bit more flexible and play to our strengths. And sometimes that does mean the lines get mixed up.
Yeah, it would actually be interesting to see if we have a look at last year's stats, how many man games we lost last year to what we've lost already this year. Because I can't remember that many kind of big injury problems last year.
No, we didn't.
On the
No, it was probably just Joe Dowdle towards the end of the season, I think.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. And we did say this at the beginning of the season, before the season even kicked off on this podcast. We said...
Oh, we lost Jacob a couple of times during the season, didn't we, last year?
Yeah, yes, we did. But we did say we needed a little bit of luck with injuries, and we haven't had it. So...
Yeah. Well, just to continue the theme on the Sunday then, we lost another couple of players on Sunday.
Yep.
And we filled in as best we can. Jacob was not available. Mark Turnbull was not available. Obviously, I mentioned Jacob half jokingly, but half not. He had a big collision with Mikey in at the top of the crease on Saturday. So I think part precaution, part looking after the player. So he wasn't risked on Sunday. Ben Greenhalgh. He did something. He was already carrying something into Saturday, and obviously it wasn't good after Saturday, so he was a no-go on Sunday. So we had Jack Wakefield coming up to make his first start, I think.
Yes.
He's played a couple of games in relief, but I think it was his first start for the Stars. And we brought Ryan Wardell up from the books to be the backup. We also brought in somebody called Sean Galloway, who was injured apparently, but now he's not. I think that was a surprise to quite a few people, including Mrs. Galloway, I believe. But yeah, so Shuggy stepped in, and we ended up with, I think, 6D and 7 forwards when we did the graphic. We did the graphic literally outside the dressing room after counting all of the players because we didn't know who was playing and how and why and what. And so, yeah, we literally did that when we got to Nottingham. So that was interesting. And then the game played out. And if you watch the webcast or followed along on social, you'll know it finished Nottingham 7, Billingham 4. Goals for the Lions. Alex Rushby with 2, Toby Fisher, Joe Humphreys, Barney Sari, Reagan Kidd, and Leon Autumn Shaw with their goals. For the Stars, 2 for James Moss, 1 for Michael Oliver, and 1 for Ethan McLaughlin. Ethan, and he was assisted by Matty Pickup for his first Star point as well. Matty and Will Thornton. We may as well call them regulars now because they're not leaving this lineup for the rest of the season, I don't think. And to be fair, they're not this. But we'll talk about the game in general. And Carol, I think I kind of trailed it when we're talking about Saturday's game. The efforts of Saturday, the loss of extra bodies, we just couldn't get going really on Sunday, and Nottingham took advantage of a depleted and kind of weakened Billingham team.
Yeah, I think there was 2 big things for me. The first thing, obviously, we've just said there, we were extremely short benched. Obviously able to fill some of those gaps with players playing up from the books, etc., etc. Shuggy we've mentioned, but you could see very clearly he wasn't fully fit. He's basically stepped up to try and to fill some of those gaps. But the second thing, we just came up against a Nottingham Lions side who utterly outworked us. They were able to do that because I don't know their situation at the minute, but certainly they looked fully fit. They were flying. They were prepared to put in the hard work, and our guys just looked not beaten. I think that's the complete wrong word. They didn't look beaten. They just looked tired, for want of a better word, more and more tired as the game went on. And that's going to happen when you've had a big game on the Saturday and you've put all your effort in and it was a superb performance, and then you come short benched on the Sunday, and it's hard to get those legs going in that situation. I'm not going to knock any of the guys that travel, because the effort was there. But it's hard when you haven't got the legs to get going. And I think certainly by the third period that told massively. And you've got to tip your hat to every one of the lads that travelled, because it did look like it'd taken them every ounce of what they got to put out what happened on Sunday. So no lack of effort, no lack of passion, no lack of heart, just simply outworked by a team that just looked fitter and looked like they had a spring in the step. We hung on to them for 2 periods, and for that, absolutely fantastic. And then the third period, it just ran out of steam, and they kind of stole away with it. But I'm not gonna sit here and knock anybody that travelled, because it was 100% effort. Just but when the gas isn't there, it's just not there.
Yeah, pressing on the guys are pressing on the accelerator. Just nothing there to come out of the tank anymore. I mean, we talked about you live with them for 2 periods. It was 3-3 at the end of the second. We were 3-1 down. And then Ethan scored 5 minutes from the end of the period, assisted by Matty, assisted by Shuggy. Getting on he was playing forward. He's showing his utility, playing as a forward. That line again worked as did everybody, and got the reward. And then Mushy, final minute of the period, just both Mushy's goals were basically route one. He just went straight down the middle of the ice towards the net. Right, I'm going to score, bang, and he did. That was a technical move, by the way, if anybody's watching the video. That's how we did it. But then they say the end of the second, the interval, Nottingham came out and they got a quick couple of goals. And you can say the guys were trying, but there probably was just like nothing left in the tank. They just couldn't respond. Mushy again, we second one straight down the middle of the ice, put it. 2 goals, 3 minutes left. You thought you might try again. Obviously tried the empty net, and then the Lions were able to turn it over and score into the empty net. A couple of mentions. Let's say the guys, as Carol said, 100% effort. Jack in net, 37 saves, made some big saves from the likes of Rushby, who was absolutely flying most of the night. Survived. It must have been a weekend for goalie things, because there was a few in other divisions. After Jacob got taken out by Mikey, there was a clash by the Stars net. Rushby went past, I think it was Paddy, down the outside, straight to the crease, and collided with Jack at the post. Jack needed some attention, but Sadie managed to fix him. Jack, bless him, had his own net back on the pegs, because the linesmen weren't doing anything. They were just standing, gassing. I don't know what they're doing. So Jack got run over, got fixed, put the net back on and was ready to start there. But yeah, great effort from the guys. It just wasn't to be. I said Nottingham were flying, and I think Goss was taken, just talking afterwards. I think they put it on their socials as well. It's the first point they've taken off Billingham since the first season back, 12-13.
2012.
2012. So that's quite a run. We'll just have to start a new run again in February, but that's that. Jono, from your seaside retreat, any thoughts?
Yeah, it was a tough one to follow. I know I was messaging a few people, just saying, talk to me, tell me what's going on, let me know how we're playing. I didn't really want to get the stream, obviously poolside, and all sorts of accidents could happen when electronics and stuff like that. So no, I was messaging a few people, just talking, and yeah, soon as they said just flat, the legs aren't there. You just knew that the war they had the night before was going to take its toll. Deeside, although not dominating like they should with that roster, they're a very good side, and they too take control large parts of games now, which would have put our lads under a lot of pressure on the Saturday. So concentration levels, leg power, all that stuff would have took it into play into the Sunday. And you know what, Matt Bradbury is not a daft coach. He's been around the block or two. He'll have known that the Stars had been in an absolute war on the Saturday. And then the moment he walks these 12 lads, 13 lads rock up off the bus, he'd have been straight in that range changing room and goes, "We can get these today, boys. All we've got to do is outwork them. Make them skate for 20, 30, 40 minutes, and we'll take them in the fourth and third." And that's exactly what they did. So you probably think Matt Bradbury's going to give himself a bit of a pat on the back because he saw an opportunity to jump all over us, and that's why I assume he's done. You see, he's been around the block or two. He's not daft. I think I wrote somewhere, I'm not sure. It's a tough one to take. It'll be. I think some of the lads will still be thinking about it now, because we shouldn't be getting beat by the Lions. I mean, it has been a long time. We were due. I think we're probably the only team who hasn't been caught out by them in the last few years. Like what Blackburn's lost once or twice there. In the last couple of seasons, Deeside's been there and lost, and Solihull's been there and lost, and yeah, it was probably just our turn. But I'm sure the lads will get themselves into Christmas. They've got a couple of games to go before the league games start up in the new year. We should, for me personally, use them as training sessions because we don't have any training sessions now until before, I think the game's on the 10th or something like that is. So we're going to have like 6 games without any training. Which is mad. So I think the lads need to go into those games that are coming up next week with a focus, have that little bit of annoyance about what happened in Nottingham, and take that into the new year.
Yeah, no, 100%. If you haven't already listened, Carol and I had a sit down with Fozzie at the end of the game on Sunday to talk about the weekend and a bit of a look ahead to Whitley Bay as well. So you can check that out on a Big Red Machine Radio, wherever you listen to your audio clips from the Billingham Stars. It's linked on all of the socials. You can have a listen to that. I played the good cop and did the win. Carol had to take the loss, unfortunately. So it's just the toss of the coin. But yeah, so thanks to Fozzie for his thoughts on that. Anything else on Sunday, Carol, that we haven't talked about?
Not particularly. I think Foz said everything that needed to be said. It wasn't for lack of effort. It just sometimes it's just not going to happen, and it didn't on Sunday. You look at the luck. I keep harping back to how our luck's deserted us this season, but before Christmas last season, we had a fixture in Nottingham where half the team were bad with flu. And the luck was with us that day because we managed to ride it a little bit, and the guys were able to get through it, and we got points. This season, we travel short again for other reasons, not flu, strangely, but and you just look at the contrast of when the luck's with you and the luck isn't, and that's kind of illustrates my point. The luck is not with us this season, and kind of it's showing.
Yeah, No, it's just, you just take it like I say, one of them things. Just one thing I was going to mention. I don't know if I mentioned it on the pod, or if I just mentioned you in actual real life. That I hadn't seen Mikey score from the goal line, and he
You
thankfully
mentioned it in real life.
he did that. Thankfully, he did that on Sunday for the opening goal in the first period. I'll have to look at the video carefully because I don't know how he got it A, along the goal line, and B, past Evan Cole, so it was right up against his post. There must have been literally that much space. Where was the camera? Yeah. To find a slot to get the puck into, but he did it for the equalising goal. So I should try and will more things into existence. But not necessarily. No, we're about next weekend. I'll save it for the first weekend of the new year. Start willing things into existence. But yeah, some nice goals. Just as not enough gas in the tank, unfortunately, on Sunday. We'll leave the Stars specific stuff there. We'll quickly go through the results of week 16 in NIHL North Division 1. Thanks to Joe Scutts, as always. NIHL Stats. NIHLstats.wordpress.com. All the stats and games and scores, and he does these box scores for each division. And he's also put out, well worth a look as well, the top 10 lists as of the end of the calendar year almost. Top 10 points, assists, goals, save percentage, penalty, all of the stats. It's all there to have a look at. Interesting read for anybody who's that way inclined. But quickly through the scores from Saturday: Billingham 5, Deeside 3. As we talk, Blackburn 7, Leeds 3 at the Blackburn Arena, and Telford 7, Hull 1. Hat-trick for Taylor Stanton. And then on Sunday, it was Hull 3, Blackburn 7. Nottingham, didn't talk about that. Solihull found the shooting sticks. Solihull 11, Leeds 3. Widnes 0, Telford 7. So quite a few goals around for the weekend. Hull had their new goalie making 2 appearances and conceding 14 goals. It was Dan Crow, I think he's new. Their new goal, isn't it?
Yeah.
So maybe he's getting used to the systems in Hull. We'll see how that develops over the rest of the season. The league table as of December the 21st, and Blackburn are top. They have a Q next to their name, which means they have already qualified for the top 8 for the end of the season. They have 60 points from 22 games, currently 14 clear of Solihull, or 46. Telford on 45, Deeside on 44, and a bit of a gap to Billingham on 34. Hull on 28, Widnes 28, Nottingham, a bit of a gap now. They are 8th, last playoff spot. They have 18, and then just out of the picture at the minute, Leeds have 12, and Sheffield have that perfect record still going, 0 and 21. And who do they play at the weekend? Oh dear. The cup, our table is now concluded. That was the last game in our cup group. We finished 3rd in the group. Nottingham finished on 6 points and Leeds on 3. The other group A, Deeside, Solihull, and Hull are battling out. The last game is between Solihull and Hull, and that will decide who finishes 1st or 2nd or 3rd. All 3 options still available to find out who makes the cup semi-finals, but we're not in it, so we don't care anymore. Anything about the scores, Carol? I'm just being honest now. It's the cup. Yeah, okay, done. Let's move on.
That hashtag's coming back out. It's only the cup. 2 teams stood out for me at the weekend for different reasons. Telford have had an awful lot of personnel changes recently, and that seems to have switched them right on. Yeah. I think it's way too late for them to do anything in the league, but they are now the team to watch out for, I think, in both the cup and the playoffs. So keep an eye on Telford is my number 1. Number 2, Leeds Knights have fallen off a cliff. I do not know what's happened there, but their results of late are nosediving. something is not quite right there. I don't know whether it's a chemistry thing, whether they're just not being able to get access to players that are on the pathway as much as normal. But I don't know. Leeds looking unlikely, let's say, to make that final playoff spot for me now. So yeah, those are the two that I sort of noticed at the weekend.
Yeah, Telford have won 5 in a row and 8 of their last 9, so they're on a bit of a tear, as Carol says, and they're scoring a lot as well.
Yeah.
6, 9, 6, 4, 9, 10, 5, 7, 7. So I don't know whose phone number that is. Sorry if you're going to get any phone calls, but yeah, they're potting a lot of goals. Obviously, we saw our at first hand a couple of weeks ago the kind of firepower they do have when they use it. With what must be the oldest top line in the world, but that's a conversation for the next time we play them. Jono, any thoughts from abroad?
No, obviously just
From
the Telford thing. I mean, they are flying right now, so they are a team to be watched out. The changes that they've made, they're looking like they're in like a win now situation. I think they've realised they've got potential to grab a cup or make a big play in the playoffs. Obviously Silverthorne and Luca are no mugs. Obviously Hull's will be a big loss to them stepping up to the big squad. But obviously bringing in Zach Brown as well, which helped that leaky defence out quite a bit, as we found out the other week. So yeah, a small eye to be kept on Telford. But as the league table stands, I'd take that playoff quarterfinal right now, to be honest.
Yeah, if playoffs started tomorrow game, Blackburn, Nottingham will love finishing 8th and playing the league leaders because that's just what they do. Blackburn, Nottingham, Solihull, Widnes, Telford, Hull, and Deeside, Billingham. Yeah, definitely some interesting ties there as well. Anything else on the results before we move on?
On Leeds, I remember, I believe on one of the away trips, we bumped into their coach at one of the petrol. Not the coach itself, as in the coach. He was saying there was no crashes or anything like that. Yeah, he was saying that they've got a lot of injuries at the moment, and obviously the senior squad have took quite a few players. Believe it or not, he said they should be all right come the turn of the new year. Which, I mean, who's their first game in the new year? I believe it's us. Great.
Yeah.
So yeah, there should be somewhere near full strength when the new year starts.
Well, hopefully Alan and Fuzz have been good boys and they get something in their stock over Christmas, and we're full strength for the new year as well. We shall see. We'll take a break there. We'll leave it after talking about all the results and things, and we'll come back and talk about coming weekend, which is Christmas Cup action against a new-ish old opponent, and some any other business before we finish for our Christmas break. Stay with us here on your official Billingham Town Council Billingham Stars podcast. This is Starcast.
This episode is brought to you by Thor's Ice Cream, the best ice cream menu in Billingham. Find them at the rink on game days and pick from their range of amazing desserts, including the Biscoff brownie and the famous whippy trays, with a choice of amazing toppings. Supporters of the Stars and Buccaneers and proud partners of Starcast. Find Thor's Ice Cream on social media.
Welcome back to Starcast. It's a break from league action for your Billingham Stars this weekend, and a familiar opponent who we haven't played for a while, if that makes any sense at all, if any of this podcast ever makes any sense. Whitley Warriors, who are playing in the SNL this season. We played them obviously in pre-season, and it's a return again, a home series. They're calling it the Winter Classic. We're calling it a Christmas Cup. But it's 2 games for the local teams to see each other again. We're in Billingham on Saturday, 5 o'clock, not 5:30, 5 p.m. on Saturday, and same time up the road on Sunday at Hillhead's Ice Palace, 5 p.m. both days. Home on Saturday for your Stars. Jono, since you were kind of watching from afar the last weekend, you can start on this one. We haven't seen Whitley for 3 months odd. They've been, battling away the SNL. What do you know about what they've been doing, and what are you expecting at the weekend?
Yeah, it's strange to try and find out what the vibe is up there. Actually, to be honest, I know they've got giddy recently about a recent cup run that they've been on, but I think they've lost like 3 of the last 4 games. Is it or something like that? 2 of the last 3. I haven't gone totally into what they're being good up there. Just had a little look to see what the feeling was up there. Obviously, they have a lot of their fans who are really up for this game because, as it's like a World Cup final, a Stanley Cup final for them up there, isn't it? So they get to play the big team down the road. So yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how both teams go about it. Obviously, the Warriors do have a little bit to play for this year with their cup run, so they probably won't want any injuries. And we just want players to come back from injury, to be honest. So it'll be kind of interesting to see the 2 rosters that get put out over the next few weeks. Like I say, for us, from my point of view, me personally, I think we should be just using it like training games, just because we want to be on the ice much for when the next league games arrive. We won't be back on the ice now training wise, and I think I said earlier on before the 9th and 10th games or 10th and 11th games. So it's a good opportunity to just get on the ice, work on some things, and maybe have a look at 1 or 2 players who we wouldn't normally look at. Who knows? Probably find out on a Saturday when we arrive to see what was with not having any training.
Yeah. Last year, Carl, obviously we played this same sort of thing over Christmas, but there were league games as well. So there were important games as well as the kind of the local angle. This year, obviously, we're not in the SNL, they're not in the NIHL. So how do the Stars? You've already heard how Jono. It is important for them, and if they're used to playing the big team down the road, we should maybe change my name and wear blue just to make them feel at home. But without going that far, what do you expect?
You get cancelled for that comment.
I'm already thinking that Craig needs some soap for Christmas to wash his mouth out.
Unbelievable! Get some comments in the comment section about that one. I'm having none of that one, by the way.
I didn't use the D word and I didn't use the W word. I just said
you did mention the blue word though. Wow.
It was just me. Then
I'm telling Alan.
They used to play the big teams on the road back in the day. Anyway, it's a tough one, as Jono says, with the injuries, and there's no league points at stake. It's difficult how to kind of place it and where it is in the priorities. But as Fuzzy said, by the same token, he's played in these games before. It's a derby game, so there's that element as well.
It is a derby game. He's dead right about that bit. However, this is going to feel, I think it feels a little bit like the pre-season friendlies for me. These are a couple of exhibition games that, in the grand scheme of things, mean absolutely nothing. However, the flip side of that is a derby game never means nothing. It's a really tough one because, at the back of your brain, yes, they're not the blue ones, but the history between the clubs, blah, blah, blah. You never, ever, ever want to lose a game against Whitley Bay. You just don't. So it is a bit of a weird one in that there are no league points on the line. It is literally a Northeast bragging rights weekend. And who does that mean more to? And that, by the way, will decide who wins this weekend, because who do the bragging rights mean more to? Whoever it is will probably take the little cup thing this weekend. Whitley Bay, yes, they're actually top of the SNL at the minute. Me personally, I've not really been following the SNL this season because I've kind of kept an eye on Edinburgh Capitals for Conor McNulty reasons, and that's pretty much it. But I don't really have an interest in the SNL. However, I do know that Whitley are top. They're top by a point. The big caveat for that is all of the teams behind them have games in hand. And in the case of Edinburgh Capitals, who are second, they have an awful lot of games in hand. I would say at the minute that Whitley are probably not favourites for that title. Who knows? I don't know enough about that league to pass genuine comment. But it is going to be an odd weekend in that don't want to lose, but at the same time, probably not going to be devastated if we do. It's just so hard. But at the end of the day, let's face it, in between Christmas and New Year, what are you going to do with your weekends? You're going to go and watch some ice hockey, surely. Because let's face it, it's either that or spend it vegging on the sofa, eating far too much food. So get yourselves down at the forum, guys, because it's a local derby at the end of the day. Nobody really wants to lose it. Let's get some reminders out to Whitley about what they're missing.
Yeah, no, 100%. It'll be a strange one. We can all say it's to use your hashtag from earlier. It's only the cup. It's only the Christmas Cup. But then when you turn up, it's the Stars and the Warriors. It's the maroon and the red and white, and it's that game at the end of the day. So we'll see what happens when puck drops on Saturday. A reminder again: 5 o'clock at the Forum on Saturday. If you turn up for 5:30, you'll have missed the first period. 5 o'clock on Saturday. Same at Hillheads if you're travelling up to the Hillheads Ice Palace on Sunday. But it'd be good to see the place full again. Obviously, I would imagine a healthy crowd from both angles all across the weekend. And we'll just see what happens when the puck drops. And so we'll see what happens. Obviously, the caveat I think I had for us probably applies to Whitley as well. As Jono said, they're in the Cup semi-final. They're in the Scottish Cup semi-final. They're in the title race, albeit maybe not favourites at the minute.
I have just had a quick look at that. So they are top on 28 points, second at 27 points, third at 27 points. Second has 6 games in hand, and third has 3 games in hand. So they need some big luck from teams around them to beat Edinburgh, and I don't think it's looking possible, to be honest.
But I've still got the Scottish Cup semi-final in the new year. So I think the caveat for us probably still applies to them. They can't afford any daft injuries or any daft suspensions or whatever, because for them in their season in the SNL, it's also a meaningless cup because it doesn't mean anything for the rest of that season. So it could work both ways. We'll just have to wait and see. But either way, I hope it's a good crowd on Saturday at the Forum, and we'll see what happens when the puck drops and the local bragging rights are up for grabs. Anything else on the weekend before we? There is a league home and home, but it's the top team against the bottom team twice. So we don't expect that to change the league standings in any great shape on Sunday night.
One team taking a 6-point further lead.
Yeah.
We'll leave that for there. Any other business, Mr. Supporters Club Chairman? While you were away, obviously we did the selling of the raffle tickets as much as we could, and then it was drawn last Saturday. Can you tell us how well the event was supported and obviously the collection of the prizes?
Yeah, first of all, again, just a massive thank you to the Stars fan base. You've been wonderful in your purchasing of tickets. Absolutely fantastic. Even the players as well. I think they've took on board as well and sold quite a lot to families, and not just bought up the allocation themselves to save them a job. They've gone out and sold extra tickets as well, which is just fantastic. But no, the fans, absolutely incredible. All the funds that we do get go straight back into the club, whether it's for ourselves to increase the merchandise that we can offer, or if it's just to help Alan out here and there with whatever is required, whether it's referee fees or anything like that. The list is absolutely endless. And now we get a little look on the inside. It's scary what needs to be paid for a hockey team. So yeah, every penny we get in goes back into the club one way or another. So just a massive thank you. Thank you to James Flavel for assisting with the draw. Obviously wasn't here myself, so I couldn't thank him personally, but thank you, young Flav. Thank you very much for doing that. All your winners have been posted out on all the social medias, I believe. So if you are wondering, do check the social medias. What I will do as well, I'll get the list of winning tickets as well, not just by number, by name, and we'll get in touch with folk who we need to get in touch with, just in case a few tickets have been sold far and wide. But no, an absolute thank you very much from myself to everyone who took part in the Christmas raffle, and hopefully we can get it bigger and better again next year.
Yeah, no, fantastic. It was great to see, and obviously very well supported. The other kind of thank you, Carol. We've obviously missed the pod last week, and the home doubleheader weekend was the weekend the guys went into the hospitals with the proceeds of the teddy bear toss. So I know you did a little video gallery from those visits. Do you want to quickly talk us through how the visits went?
Just heartwarming as ever. Unfortunately, I did the James Cook leg as I usually do, and unfortunately, the wards were particularly busy this year. But there's an awful lot of flu about at the minute. A lot of kids in with difficulty breathing, etc., etc. So there's an awful lot of kids to see. And you know, it sounds perverse, but that's not what you want. You kind of hoping that you visit and there's nobody there. But the wards were particularly busy at James Cook. I don't actually think they were quite as busy at North Tees, which is a good thing. But yeah, it was. We brought along Billy the Bear this year, and yes, he was a massive hit. I think at certain points the players kind of felt a bit surplus to requirements because the kids were kind of obsessed with Billy. It's just so it just absolutely fills you up with joy to see it. We've had some lovely messages back from the nurses on both hospitals, just saying how much they look forward to us going in every year. I think I said it on a previous pod. You know, it's a bit patchy who goes in from various organisations, but we've been consistently going in for years now, and they really look forward to us going in. We usually take in some treats for the nurses as well, and a card signed by the players. So it's just our way of giving back, and it does make you feel warm inside, gives you a warm glow. Like say, when it's as busy as it was on last Sunday, it kind of takes the sheen off a little bit, because you don't want to see that many kids in hospital at Christmas. It's not great. Yeah. But the fact that we were able to bring smiles to so many of those kids' faces, and we did. So I mean, I don't know if you've watched the video and seen some of the smiles on those kids' faces, but it was fantastic. It was really fantastic to see. And there was, for me personally, there was a couple of kids at James Cook that there was one little boy especially who was just goggling at Billy so much, to the point where we give him a gift and actually went back. I kind of rifled through the bags and found a mini Billy, and Billy took it back for him, and the look on his face, oh my word, it was just, it hits you right in the feels, in the feels. So yeah, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And my thanks once again, massive thanks to everybody who joined in with that teddy toss and makes that happen, because it's the fans that make that happen. And yeah, amazing. Thank you.
And it's a huge part, we've talked about it before, the club takes its part of the community responsibility seriously, and that's part of it. It's supporting the community who supports the Billingham Stars, Jono. Yeah,
I mean, without the fans in the stands, there can't be a team. It's just that simple. It's just not financially possible for to have zero community involved with your team. So it's great that we can put a product on that fans find entertaining, that they're willing to pay for, where they come in their numbers. We try and provide them with everything you can so they have a great night. So when we do come asking, or if you want, for a better will, with a beg and bowl, saying we need a bit of this, we need a bit of that, they stand up and they be counted for. And that's exactly what they've done every time. The Christmas raffle, the teddy toss, every time we ask, they pull it out. It's not always for the club, like I say, it's sometimes for the community. We're trying our best to do a lot more scout group stuff's happening as well. And it's just it's a tough one. Just because you want to give back to absolutely everyone, and if we could make it free, we absolutely would, to get everyone in the rink and watching a fabulous sport. But it's just not possible. But just being, I love, because I don't do the visits myself, but I love going on Facebook when the pictures are out there, just to see the comments from parents. A lot of parents comment, a lot of nurses comment, and it's just the comments are just absolutely wonderful. So a big thank you to everyone who donated to Teddy. A big thank you to the players for giving up the time, especially on game days, because it can't be easy with preparations. But yeah, even if there's anyone out there, if there's any more stuff that we can do with the community, do reach out, because we'd love to get more involved. We really would. Yeah. It's a big hockey town. There's two great teams here, and we can do a lot more together in the community as well.
Yeah, no, brilliant. 100% agree. So thanks again to everybody. And if you haven't already done, if you look on the Stars social media, you'll see the pictures from the visits to the two hospitals, and the kind of reaction that Carol was talking about. So thanks to everybody for that. That's just about it, I think, for this edition. We were going to do some this or that kind of Christmas dinner-y thing, but I think we just want to get finished and say Merry Christmas, I think is the gist of it. We did have a conversation. We were traveling down to the game on Nottingham on Sunday, and one of the passengers in the car, who wasn't me, asked the driver of the car, who was from Yorkshire, if she has Yorkshire puddings on her Christmas dinner. And what did the driver say, Carol?
I'm from Yorkshire, you muppet.
So that was we've done the Die Hard Christmas movie advert tick. So we can do the Yorkshire puddings on a Christmas dinner. You can have a comment on yes or no on that.
Yeah, but how Yorkshire are you? Do you have it before your dinner or with your dinner?
With obs.
Oh, not proper Yorkshire then. No.
You're not from Yorkshire. You don't know.
Proper Yorkshire, you have it first.
Nope. Not from where I'm from in Yorkshire.
Not proper Yorkshire.
Anyway, well, let's
as Yorkshire as it comes.
let's not fall out. It's Christmas. It's a yes from me. It's a yes from Carol. Jono, yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just checking.
3 out of 3.
Pigs and blankets.
Yes.
Cranberry.
No.
Sauce.
Absolutely not.
Gravy. Northern boys love gravy. And it doesn't go with gravy.
Anyway, there's no other contentious stuff, is there really? It's just no.
Mushy peas or peas?
Oh, peas. I don't do mushy peas.
Just peas. Not who the hell has what weirdo has mushy peas on the Christmas dinner?
Cook it, stick it on there. Why not?
Wow.
I think we found we're headline.
Yeah, mushy peas do not belong on the Christmas dinner.
I think we'll draw it to a veil with just from everybody at the Starcast, and by extension, everybody at the Billingham Stars. Wishing everybody who's watching and listening, and having clips sent to them, and however you're feeding your podcast hunger, a very Merry Christmas, whatever you're with your loved ones, your friends, your family, however you are celebrating. Enjoy your time with your family and your loved ones. We'll be back next week after some Christmas Cup action, getting back into the second half of the season, the drive towards the playoffs. But yeah, from myself, from Christmas Carol, and from Jingle John.
Jingle John. That could go horribly wrong.
Thanks for your watching and listening over the season so far. Hope we keep it going for the rest of the campaign. Enjoy your Christmas, and we'll be back soon. From now,
change, subscribe.
Right, yeah, smash that like button, and we'll take it from there. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you for watching and listening to Starcast. Follow us on social media and remember to subscribe and leave a review on your podcast platform.